Hi, my name is Marcel Varga, and I'm a foreigner in Taiwan. I'm coming from the distant Europe to this beautiful tropical island in the South China Sea. While working, studying, and mostly living here, I realized how beautiful this country is. And you know what excited me the most? Nature. However, this movie is about a particular place in Taiwan called the Hengchun Peninsula, which is in the south. More about this a little bit later. I'm making this film in order to give something back as a token of my appreciation that this country has given to me and to all the great people that helped me out. I would like to express my deepest thanks to my two main contributors to this paper and film, Nathaniel Maynard and Dr. Fan. Without their firm support, this film wouldn't be able to get done. Taiwan is a beautiful island. However, some parts of it, specifically the south, has given less and less attention throughout the years. The main reason behind people go to South Taiwan is tourism, as simple as it is. But there is a problem. Local communities are suffering great losses. On the other hand, the marine ecosystem is suffering problems as well. Many things have happened in the past that are currently not going in the right direction. And you know why? See, this is what I want to show you in this film. The main focus of my film is to investigate and analyze the development of the Hengchun Peninsula, the very southern tip of the island with amazing wildlife, natural environment and opportunities to provide tourists with entertainment and activities. The area is located in Pingtung County with the Pacific Ocean embracing the entire territory from the sides. The biggest city here is Hengchun, which has a land area of 136 square kilometers and has a population of 30,000 inhabitants. Built over 130 years ago, Hengchun carries a very interesting history. This township is the entrance to the Kenting National Park, the country's #1 national park with really good climate throughout the whole year. This area is also referred as the Tropics of Taiwan, with beaches and palm trees scattered all around. The national park was founded by Taiwan's government in the early 70s to protect the natural habitat for marine and land animals. There were no Taiwanese national parks before Kenting. The first Taiwanese national park law was decreed in 1972, claiming that spots with ecological, historical, and recreational value to the country would be eligible to become national parks. In 1977, the Taiwanese premier at the time, Chiang Jing-kuo, reacted to the studies of ecological damage done in the Kenting area as the result of overzealous farming and construction, by determining that the government had to take steps to preserve the natural resources of the area. In 1979, the Ministry of the Interior then asked National Taiwan University to conduct an in-depth ecological and topological survey on the Kenting area in order for the Taiwan Housing and Urban Development Bureau to draw up a plan for the Kenting National Park project. The aim of making Kenting a national park was to preserve the land for educational, scientific, and recreational purposes for generations to come. Kenting became a national park in 1982. In 1984, Kenting's National Park headquarters was established and continues to be administered by the Executive Yuan's Ministry of the Interior. As a way to empower the development of the area, the government also built a nuclear power plant, which is an iconic spectacle of Nanwan, the longest beach area along the coastline. The national park was founded, but the overfishing in the previous decades left a huge scar on the marine life. Basically, the whole coastline was overfished, so you can't really find a lot of fishing boats anymore. Throughout my trip, it was so strange for me as a foreigner to see so few fishing boats or even just normal boats around the whole peninsula. It was something that just didn't feel right, so I wanted to know why. Most of the fish population disappeared from the coastal waters, also affecting the very susceptible corals. Over the years, the area started a slow recovery, and in order to boost the conservation, the government made a huge investment. The National Museum of Marine Biology and Aquarium was officially opened its gates to viewers in 2004. Aside with the museum, a massive research park was founded for marine and biology studies. Probably the biggest of these institutions is the Coral Laboratory. This place provides the museum with corals, but they also study and reproduce them to help medicine industry and the development of science. So, why are corals so important? Coral reefs are often considered as the marine counterpart to rainforests because of their rich biodiversity. In addition to providing valuable habitat for fish and other animals, they are incredibly beautiful with seemingly infinite structures and growth forms. Coral reefs are an important food source for the people who live near reefs, many of the compounds now being used in human medicines, including some that treat cancer, are found on coral reefs, with probably many more yet to be discovered. Some commercial fishing enterprises also depend on coral reefs and the fish they produce. Small traditional fishing grounds that are effectively managed by local communities can help restock both themselves and surrounding marine areas. Based on my research, the 5 main areas of coral utilization are the following: huge ocean biodiversity, very effective coastal protection, extremely rich food source, vital medicine ingredient and treatment for various health problems, great tourist attraction, fascinating first-person experience through diving. By the most recent study, Hengchun Peninsula's coral habitat's economic value is more than 40 billion NT dollars, yet they seem very underutilized by the community. This could be a paradise for divers and people who supply them with housing and convenience. But there is one man who knows more about these corals and the area than anyone else on this planet. Dr. Fan is the lead researcher of the Vanishing Coral Laboratory. Dr. Fan installed all the coral tanks in the aquarium, mostly from local hard corals that can only be found in these waters.
So we established a live coral lab here before the opening of the aquarium, because we have a plan for the live coral exhibit. Before we establish the live coral exhibit, we need to capture a lot of live coral to support this live coral exhibit. Kenting National Park is the top one tourism area in Taiwan, because here is tropical and attract a lot of domestic and international visitors come here. So local people, they need to build a restaurant, the hotel, and it also caused some problem. But I think that generally the tourism help the environmental protection, because to attract these visitors comes back. Local people, they know it's very important to have the high quality of the coral reefs here, and so and then the overfishing has been occurred for a long time. Right now, local people cooperated with the managed agency and our education and research institute try to establish more marine protected area. And to understand more ecosystem here, so they can interpret it to the visitors.
So even Dr. Fan thinks that tourism is good for the area, but then where are those visitors? Knowing that this area is the top tourist attraction for beach lovers, I expected to see a tropical paradise. To be frank, it has everything to be just like that. Unfortunately, my experiences were on the contrary. I didn't see many tourists or locals who were accommodating or serving them. The aquarium is always full of visitors throughout the year, but they are mostly student groups or guided tours coming from the mainland. We traveled around the whole peninsula to see all the beach shores and the spectacles that this place has. Again, my expectations as a foreigner was high, but I had to disappoint again. All the coastal villages we visited were blank or scarcely populated while I was there in May. In Hobihu, one of the main diving resorts, we could only find one restaurant that was open in the whole town, and yes, we were searching for other options. There is a town next to the coral laboratory called Howan, and this is basically just the next village from the National Museum of Marine Biology and Aquarium, which means that you can see the whole thing from this village or from the other. Very close. Would be an ideal tourist destination for a family who wants to stay in the area. So we went there. It was a Saturday, and we saw a few people, and then we saw a cafe. We wanted to eat something because we didn't have lunch, and we couldn't find an open restaurant. There was this cafe, but the lady said that this place is not open on Saturday. So it was strange. So we had a walk through the main street of the town, and all that we saw was just dogs, street dogs, and actually a few old people sitting outside. All in all, it was just really depressing, because you see this beautiful, awesome place next to the beach, next to the blue sea, and all you have is an abandoned village. Houses are in ruins, and the street is full of dogs, and it felt really unsafe on the other hand. So this is just another experience as a foreigner that I had in the area, which struck out, which was very surprising to see. Once during this research, I was in South Taiwan in a town called Checheng, and we stayed in a relatively expensive hotel for one night with the small crew, and the hotel had everything we wanted. It was crazy. It was swimming pools outside, inside. It was close to the beach. It had a beautiful view and everything. But we had a long day, and then we arrived at about 10 p.m. or maybe a little bit later to the hotel, and it was raining outside. And so we wanted to drink something at the bar, but then we realized there is no such a thing. So we asked the receptionist, what can we do? And she kindly told us that there is a 7-Eleven just 30 minutes away from the hotel. And so we got some umbrellas, and we had to walk for about 30 minutes in the heavy rain, and then we found the 7-Eleven, and then we could buy something to drink. So again, as a foreigner, this is something that probably would never happen in an area which is a tourist destination of the country. It was a Saturday night, and it was just something that blew my mind. Taiwan's paradise seems to disappear in front of my very eyes. What is the solution then? After visiting the Kenting National Park headquarters, the National Park Visitors Center, Yoho Hotel, and staying in the area for weeks, the answer seems to be very simple: change is needed. What I want to emphasize in this film is that this place has a huge potential to be one of the highest rated tourist areas and also natural wonders of the world. The problem is, however, if the locals stay powerless and poor, the corals and the marine life has a higher chance of being a victim of the exploitation of the current unsustainable system. All over the coastline, you can see a massive growth of algae, which occurs because of pollution that is coming from uncontrolled human activities. If everything stays like this, there is no hope for either people or nature having a mutual development in the peninsula.
A lot of the problems are synergistic that impact corals. In the case of Kending and the Hengchun Peninsula, tourism acts as a root cause for issues of overfishing and fish consumption in general, coastal development, direct damage from tourism, as well as pollution. These all have the same root cause, but different solutions. Ecotourism is a way to mitigate some of the damage caused by reckless or unplanned recreational activities. Corals also provide tremendous value for tourism operations. People come from all over Taiwan, all over Asia, and in fact all over the world to see the corals of Kending.
Wide adoption and implementation of integrated marine and coastal area management are necessary for effective conservation and sustainable use of marine and coastal biological diversity. It requires a full framework of information collection, planning, decision-making, management, and monitoring. Integrated coastal zone management is a dynamic, multidisciplinary, and iterative process to promote sustainable management of coastal zones. It uses the informed participation and cooperation of all stakeholders to assess the societal goals in a given coastal area and to take actions towards meeting these objectives. Coastal zone management is a popular way of organized protection of the coastal areas. There is an increasing shift in management responsibilities to local governments or coastal communities in the world. This trend is illustrated within both existing and proposed management initiatives in the Philippines, Sri Lanka, Barbados, Tanzania, Ecuador, Bulgaria, the US, and Australia as well. For example, the Tanga Coastal Zone Conservation and Development Program in Tanzania has successfully introduced a participatory, bottom-up, community-based and community-led integrated coastal zone management program based on the principle of sustainable resource use, integration and primary environmental care. Taiwan could use the similar principles to help both natural environment and the locals of this wonderful piece of paradise, since their current practice doesn't show overwhelmingly positive results. A proper implementation of ecotourism could be a huge part of the success in the kickstart of the zone management process. Instead of the currently ongoing nature-based tourism, ecotourism could minimize the impact on the environment and also giving money for conservation and protection of marine and forest life. It could build environmental awareness and respect for the values of this region. Furthermore, it would also provide more positive experiences for both visitors and hosts as well. Financial benefits of this system could also open a new forum for conversation between government, academic institutions, and local communities. It would accelerate the empowerment of local people, making them learning about their values and the importance of nature and humans living in mutual harmony. Integrated coastal zone management would be an ideal scenario for the local people and also for the marine habitat. If the government would boost ecotourism and start promoting this area, Taiwan's vanishing paradise could shine once again. I truly believe that integrated coastal zone management is the answer for the question. Hengchun Peninsula's local community should realize that with an organized effort, they could develop their own living environment and circumstances. They could help nature, they could help corals, and corals could help them to gain more money with tourism. Everything needs to work at the same time to be helpful for both sides, which seems impossible without the help of the government. Let's hope for the best and wish Hengchun Peninsula a better future.